are you this evening?
Wonderful.
Good. Do I have any speech right to Okay, wasn't sure. Tonight, we have some wonderful entertainment lined up for you. And we're going to have an assemblage of West Virginia writers doing some reading here first. And then we're going to swing into the West Virginia writers, Whose Lie Is It Anyway? And heaven only knows what's going to happen. So just brace yourself. First of all, I want to introduce you to the brainchild of this improv and the entertainment this evening, Mr. Steven Goff. And I can tell you, we've had a number of emails from him. He's quite the professional, the consummate professional. And I'll have to tell you that every time that I would write an email to him, rather than write golf, I kept writing goof. Every single time. And I swear that's not a Freudian slip, but I don't know. I did every time, Steve, I swear. So Mr. Steve Goof is a comedian, an actor, and writer who has taught creativity and improv workshops for over 20 years. Steve's comedy improv boot camps are currently being offered around the state, and he's enrolled in the, listen to this, Second City Comedy Training Center, and will finish his course in stage work in Second City, Chicago. So we expect great things. And he'll be doing that later this summer. He's a native of Clarksburg, West Virginia, and he began his comedy career in Morgantown in 1976. In his senior year at West Virginia University, where he won a talent contest. That win paved the way for him to do comedy throughout the 70s and 80s and 90s on college campuses and in comedy clubs, coffee houses, and up and down the East Coast, where he worked with the likes of David Brenner, I'm very impressed, and Jeff Foxworthy.
Jeff Foxworthy.
Jeff Foxworthy. Yeah, you might be a redneck. It was also during this time he had founded his first comedy improvisation group, The Annoying Facial Hair. An accomplished character actor, Steve has been featured in a number of theater productions. And in April 2001, he wrote, directed, and starred in Love Stinks and Other Reality-Based Observations, which ran for 3 sold-out nights at the MAC in Morgantown. From the Morgantown Dominion Post Review, written and performed by Goff, mostly as a one-man performance. The 2-hour show is witty, observant, and highly entertaining, and creative and rollicking good time. He holds a bachelor's degree in journalism and a master's in public administration from West Virginia University. He's a creativity coach, and last October attended and performed at the 2010 International Creativity Coaching Conference in Lake George, New York. He has kept a foot in the comedy door by performing his stand-up performances at conferences, banquets, and fundraisers. He was a featured performer at the West Virginia Writers Conference in June 2009. And this year he's heading up this Friday night entertainment. He's also a freelance writer and a consultant for various regional nonprofit organizations. He resides with his wife at Lake Floyd in Harrison County. Please welcome Steve Goff.
Wow. Here's the 5 for that.
It's going to be 10 next time.
Yeah. Hey, welcome.
Consummate professional, okay. Yeah, Goof, this is a true story. I played football in high school in Washington Irving High School, and we were terrible. We were my freshman year, we were 5-5, and then after that we built our way to a 3-7 senior season, but we were the best 3-7 team in the state. And but the only time I got my name in the paper, I was an offensive and defensive lineman, but I also kicked off. And one time I split kicked the ball down to the 2, and we stopped the team, and we ended up tying the team. But anyway, the headline was, or the paragraph was, Steve Goof kicked off the second half. So the great Goof Goff again, or whatever. Some of you may remember me from as the contest coordinator the last 2 years, and now that I don't have that job, I can share this with you. It's that contest is fixed. Every year, the best writing wins. Go figure. Well, we've got a great show tonight. We're going to begin the evening with what I've been calling the West Virginia Writers Cavalcade of Storytellers and Stars. It's an eclectic collection of our members who bring a lot of talent to the stage, a lot of great storytelling techniques and great variety. We'll be doing that, and then following that, we're going to be doing the Whose Lies at Improv. Some of the members have been working with me on an improv group. Some of you came to an improv class this afternoon. I may be making use of you. And I'll be out in the audience, so looking for volunteers and interviewing folks. So we hope that'll be a lot of fun. We are scared to death. We have no idea where this is going. That's the beauty of improv. And these are writers. As I tell folks, writing is what we do when we go be by ourselves. It's a solitary activity for the most part. Improv, by its nature, is about collaboration. So we're going to see what these what writers can bring to the table, and you're going to be surprised. But before we get started, I have a special guest, surprise guest, who's going to be opening our show. We're very honored tonight to have someone who's a giant among his peers. He always stands out in a crowd. A published author who is now an agent, so you can suck up to him at any time. He likes being sucked up to. And tonight he's going to try something a little new for him. He's going to share his view on tough times in a foul world, and but do so with a humorous take on things. And without further ado, I want to introduce this Pulitzer Prize-winning author of A Murder Most Foul. Let's give a nice West Virginia writer's welcome to his own, he's a bad mother clucker, Chick McSteamer. Come on, Chick, come on up here. Tell these folks all about it.
Problem backstage. That ventriloquism lady's back there. I walked by her and she grabbed me, pulled me down on her lap, and tried to ventriloquate me. I fought, but eventually got away. I looked back and she had this sneer on her face. She looked at me and said, "Who's your daddy now?" Is Lee Maynard here?
He just laughed.
He ran when he saw the chick.
He said pigs were enough.
So anyway, afterward, we were sharing a cigarette. She was telling me about ventriloquating in Kentucky. And she stopped at a farm, and just curious, look at the animals and whatnot, and there was a farmer there named Leonard. And, so she thought she'd have some fun with Leonard, and she said, "You got a lot of animals here." And he said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, do you mind if I talk to them? That's something I do with animals, and they can talk back to me." He said, "No, you can't." Yes, I can. So she walked up to the horse. She says, "Hi, horse." She threw her voice. The horse answered. She said, "Hi. No, Leonard about to have a heart attack." Says, "Leonard treats you pretty good?" And she said, "He feeds me okay. He doesn't work me too hard." She said, "Yeah, it was nice meeting you." Then she walked a little further and saw a chicken. That's the chicken. Leonard treats you pretty good. He said, "Oh, he feeds me, takes my eggs when I need them, gone." All in all, pretty good time here. So, okay. So went along a little further, there's a goat. With the goat, he says, how you doing, goat? I said, fine, thank you. He says, how's Leonard treat you? He says, good. Milks me on time. You know, he's plenty to eat. He says, it's all right. And she walked over to the pig pen. She says, how you doing, pig? He says, fine. About that time, Leonard leaped over the rail, grabbed that pig, held its mouth, and he said, you know, pigs lie. I saw Susan Shepherd here a little while ago. I don't know if she heard about my book, Poltergeist. But anyway, that's about all I have to add. I'm going to...
Let's hear it for Chick Steven.
All right. Well done, sir. And I know the first question is, what bet did he lose? They have to don that. So, a little side note, Susan Nicholas' writing group in Huntington, to get their group to produce work, so many words a month, the deal was if you didn't make this production cut, you would have to wear this chicken suit to the conference. So they put it before the writing group, and it was such motivation. They all were more productive than they'd ever been in their lives. So Susan said, what do you want to do with the suit? I said, well, we've got a chicken suit. We can't not use the chicken suit. So that's why Terry ended up in it. And then Phyllis Moore, in her vast knowledge, she made the connection. She's always looking for connections, West Virginia writers. She said, reminded me that Bill Neely's book, Bill Neely from Jane Lew, Stroke or Ace, turned into a Burt Reynolds movie. That Stroke or Ace was sponsored by the Chicken Pit. And that as part of his contract and obligation to the Chicken Pit, the fastest chicken in the South, as they call it in the movie, he had to wear this suit. And so the contract stipulated they had to make personal appearances, which often included, you guessed it, he had to dress up like Terry McNeamer.